Have you ever walked into a room full of people and felt completely out of place, unsure of how to start a conversation? Or maybe you've tried to make a connection, only to find the other person politely nodding along but clearly uninterested. These situations happen to everyone, but the difference between those who build lasting relationships and those who don't lies in one simple thing: how well they can talk to anyone. In today's book, How to Talk to Anyone by Leil Lowndes, we'll speak about the tips and tricks that will help you through these taut situations. One of the most powerful tools in creating meaningful conversations is a delayed smile. Imagine walking up to someone, and instead of giving them an instant, generic smile, you pause for just a second. That hesitation makes the smile more intentional, more personal. You're signaling that this moment is important, and that the person in front of you matters. It's not just a social reflex, it's genuine connection. This idea of being genuine can transform how people see you. Think back to the last time someone made you feel important. It might have been a coworker who turned their body fully toward you during a conversation, or a friend who gave you their undivided attention when you needed it. These gestures, though subtle, signal deep engagement. And that's exactly what the Big Baby Pivot is about. When you turn your entire body towards someone, like a child who's fascinated by everything, you're showing them that they're the center of your world in that moment.
Welcome, Future Success Stories, in your channel S for Success. If you're finding this video helpful, hit that like button. It's a small click for you, but a big boost for us. Don't forget to subscribe for more tips and tricks to level up your life. We're just getting started, and there's so much more coming your way. Exclusive insights, powerful strategies, and real stories that can change your game. Your thoughts mean the world to us, so drop a comment and let's make this journey to success together.
Another powerful trick to master is what Lowndes calls sticky eyes. The idea here is simple. Hold eye contact a little longer than usual. This doesn't mean staring uncomfortably. It's about lingering just enough to show that you're genuinely interested in what the other person is saying. Imagine meeting someone at a party, and as they talk, you don't just look away or glance around the room. Instead, your eyes stay with them, making them feel seen and heard. You're communicating, without words, that they have your full attention. But conversation isn't just about how you look at someone. It's also about how you listen. Think about the last time you felt truly understood. Chances are, it wasn't because someone gave you advice or a solution, but because they listened. They probably didn't interrupt or jump in with their own story. They just let you talk. That's the essence of the echo. When someone says something important, you repeat it back to them. Not as a question or to make a point, but just to show that you heard them. It's like giving a verbal nod of agreement, and it deepens the connection instantly. You can take this even further with the concept of boomeranging. This happens when someone pays you a compliment, and instead of just accepting it, you turn it back to them. Picture this. A colleague tells you, "You did an amazing job on that project." Rather than just saying thanks, you respond with, "I couldn't have done it without your input. Your ideas really made it come together." In doing this, you're not deflecting the compliment. You're sharing the spotlight, which makes the other person feel valued. But what happens when you're in a conversation where the stakes are higher? Maybe you're in a job interview, or trying to win over a new client. This is where deeper conversational techniques come into play. Lowndes emphasizes the power of grapevine glory, a strategy where you compliment someone behind their back, knowing it will get back to them. Think of it as planting seeds of admiration. If you tell a mutual acquaintance about how impressed you are with someone's work, word will eventually reach them. And when it does, it will feel more authentic because you weren't directly trying to gain their favor. In any conversation, especially when building rapport, it's important to be attuned to the other person's emotions and reactions. That's where emotional mirroring comes in. This isn't about copying their every move, but subtly reflecting their mood and energy. If someone is speaking quietly and thoughtfully, it wouldn't make sense to respond with loud, boisterous laughter. By mirroring their tone, pace, and even body language, you're signaling that you're on the same wavelength. It's an almost invisible form of connection that people subconsciously pick up on, and it helps build trust faster than you'd think. And trust is everything. In fact, one of the most significant ways to deepen a connection is through something as simple as listening without trying to fix the problem. People often think that giving advice makes them helpful, but sometimes, the most powerful thing you can do is just listen. A classic example is when someone vents about their stressful day. Instead of jumping in with solutions, you echo back their feelings. It sounds like you've had a really tough day. That simple acknowledgement can make the person feel heard and validated, which is often what they needed more than a fix. And since you have reached this moment, don't forget to hit this subscribe button and like our video. Once you've built that foundation of trust, it's time to think about how to leave a lasting impression. One of the best ways to do this is with a well-timed compliment, but not just any compliment. The naked thank you teaches that a thank you should never stand alone. It should always be paired with something specific and meaningful. Instead of just saying, "Thanks for your help," you could say, "Thank you for taking the time to explain that. It really helped me understand the bigger picture." By adding that extra layer of appreciation, you make the other person feel like their effort truly mattered. The beauty of these techniques is that they're not about manipulation or being disingenuous. They're about showing genuine interest in others, making people feel valued, and creating authentic connections. And that's what makes them so powerful. As we dive deeper into Lowndes' book, we see that these tricks work in any setting, whether you're at work, at a party, or even just catching up with an old friend. Take, for example, the eyebrow flash. This is one of those tiny gestures that you probably do without even thinking, but when done intentionally, it can make a big difference. When you see someone across the room and give them a quick eyebrow raise as you smile, it sends a subconscious message that you're happy to see them. It's a small thing, but it can make the other person feel special, like they've been singled out in a positive way. And when it comes to keeping the conversation flowing, one of the most effective strategies is what Lowndes calls the big mouth move. This isn't about talking a lot. It's about knowing when to speak up and when to let others have the floor. If you're the type of person who tends to dominate conversations, this might mean pulling back and asking more questions. On the other hand, if you're usually quiet, it might mean pushing yourself to share more. The key is to find the balance that makes the other person feel comfortable and engaged. Let's not forget about the power of silence. Sometimes the best thing you can do in a conversation is say nothing at all. When you leave a little space between your words, it gives the other person a chance to reflect and respond more thoughtfully. This is especially useful in difficult conversations where emotions are running high. By pausing before you respond, you're signaling that you're carefully considering what the other person has said, which can diffuse tension and make them feel heard. The real magic happens when you combine all these techniques. Picture yourself at a networking event. You walk in with a delayed smile, making eye contact with the person you're about to meet. As they talk, you use sticky eyes to show that you're fully engaged. You echo back some of their words to show you're really listening. And when the moment is right, you offer a thoughtful compliment, one that's specific and meaningful. As the conversation winds down, you leave them with a positive impression, not just because of what you said, but because of how you made them feel. By the end of this journey through Lowndes' book, one thing becomes clear. These aren't just tricks for talking to anyone. They're tools for building stronger, more meaningful relationships in every area of your life. So next time you find yourself in a conversation, whether it's with a colleague, a friend, or even a stranger, remember these techniques. Use them not to manipulate, but to connect, and watch how your relationships, both personal and professional, start to flourish.